Leamons, welcome back to another video of mine. So today, we are going to talk about a jammer in Animal Jam who makes YouTube videos. This jammer draws and typically enters art contests going around in the Animal Jam community. Unfortunately, this jammer also traces and claims that the art is their own. They trace their art, including the ones they enter into the contests. At first, I wasn't sure. I mean, I can't make a video on someone without solid evidence or proof, because that's just unfair. Although, I was able to gather more than enough photo comparisons of the art they traced to the actual art made by the respected artists. I also found other mentionable things too. So in this video, I'll be talking about this animal jammer and going over how they are tracing other artists' drawings and also stating that it's their own. Oh, and their YouTube is DJSwag AJ and their Animal Jam username is DJSwag. I mentioned their name for the purpose of being wary around them. Don't let them do commissions for you or don't allow them to participate in your art contests. This video is not intended on being a source of hate. I do not want anyone watching this video of mine to go and attack this jammer. That is not my goal. I am making this video since a jammer came to me asking me to please inform everyone about this art tracer in Animal Jam. And after looking into the situation, I more so agreed I would. Because it seemed like the jammer would trace and deny the fact that they did when anyone asked, which is lying, which made me upset. But anyways, with that all said, let's jump into things. I'm Leamon Puppy, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get started with the video. So, DJSwag AJ has been tracing other people's drawings and claiming it to be their own. That is a wrong thing to do and very unfair to the original artists. It can make people feel upset to get their art traced and claimed by someone else. It's invalidating and unfair. I've had it happen to me in the past and I personally don't like it, and I'm sure other people wouldn't either. I'm not even sure that DJ knows that they could be affecting people. They might not even realize how wrong it is to trace someone else's artwork. And I want to say that since it could be true, but that also doesn't excuse them either. So please understand this, DJSwag AJ, just why tracing is wrong, why you shouldn't claim it as your own artwork. Personally, I have no issue with someone who traces something. If they give full credit to the original artist and don't use it to enter contests or do commissions, and don't claim it as their own art, then that's fine by me. It can be great practice for new upcoming artists. It can help you find your art style and anatomy. So please understand that it's okay to trace. Actually, I used to trace a long time ago. Yep, around when I was 13 and 14, I would trace Pokemon artwork. I never claimed it as my own. I usually just put it up on display on my room walls or something like that. So how is that wrong? It's not. And I can confidently say it helped me get into drawing as a hobby. It got my anatomy better and helped me figure out an art style. Actually, it took me years to figure out an art style that made me feel satisfied. It took such a long time, so don't worry if you are currently trying to find yours. The one I'm using now, I've used for the longest. I've been using it since October 1st, 2020, and it's currently July 31st, 2022. I never thought I could keep an art style for that long, but I have. And not only have I kept it, but I've also improved and developed over the course of time, as your art does as you practice. Anyways, back onto what I'm trying to say. The problem with tracing is when you do it and then claim the artwork to be your own, or use it to enter contests, or use it for making commissions. That is what makes it wrong, and that is what DJSwag AJ is doing. And I'm going to show you some of their traced art they made compared to the original artwork. First of all, thanks to these jammers for finding the evidence on DJSwag's tracing art. They found the original artwork and showed it compared to the traced art. Thank you, Love IMG38AJ, and thank you to Jocker Edits. You two are amazing. As you can see in this comparison, they traced a furry that's holding a gun. They placed all the items on afterwards to make it look like whatever Animal Jam character they were trying to draw. I also think that anatomy-wise, the raccoon tail should have been on the other side of the wolf, on the right, not the left. So the fact they did the anatomy perfect on everything, but the one thing they couldn't trace, shows you that they traced the other art. In this one, they traced a cat in a snowy field, which kind of looks like a warrior cat character. You can see how this one is traced so obviously. Everything looks exactly the same, and then they just slapped the items over top the Animal Jam character they drew. This one, they traced another cat drawing. Again, they just slapped the items on afterwards to make it look like the Animal Jam character they were trying to draw. In this one, they traced what looks like a furry character, and the person they drew it for even recognized that it was similar to some art they've already seen before. As you can see, it's the same situation every time they trace someone. They trace it, and then they slap the Animal Jam items over top. Now, I'm going to show you their own art compared to the art that they've been tracing. The orange cat drawing is what they can draw as of right now. Then the wolf is the traced art that they've been drawing recently. You can see that the skills are quite far off, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It just allows me to see that they've been tracing other people's art. Guys, a lot of people's art starts off like this, You guys should have just seen some of my first drawings. Now that I've shown all that, I also want to cover something else I've figured out. So a lot of people accuse them of tracing and claiming other people's art as their own. They had a speed paint of a cat where they showed it gradually becoming what it is. You don't get to see the progress of the speed paint at all. No drawings of lines or anything. People told them that this was suspicious, and they responded with how their art program was working finicky and that this is all they could get, which is obviously a lie and not true. They edited out the parts of them tracing something. That was pretty clear to most. But something that no one has noticed is what they tried doing in response to this accusation. They started showing a speed paint to show proof that they weren't tracing. But don't be fooled by these speed paints. Let me explain what they did. First of all, they sped it up extremely fast so you could barely see the progress on their art piece. But that's not even the worst of it. They start the speed paint off of a sketch and show them doing the line art over that sketch. And if you're still confused, that's okay. I'll tell you what they did. They traced already. They traced the sketch that they started off with in that speed paint, so that you wouldn't see them tracing anything. So it would look like they didn't trace and that they were starting off the line art with their own sketch. But that sketch wasn't their own. That was the trace. And they thought this would fool people. And I think it did for some. Although, it didn't fool me. I can tell when people trace. Look at this drawing they made of their main character for the channel. It just looks traced. I don't even know the original art, and I still know it was traced. I think it's how they draw it. The items don't look as good compared to the wolf. They have the airbrush tool as shading device, and it just doesn't look as good as the wolf drawing does. If they are truly capable of drawing that well, you would think everything else should look just as good. And again, I do not mean that in a bad or mean way. It's just how you can tell someone is traced. And even after all this very obvious accusations against their trace art, they continue to lie, say that it isn't traced, make excuses up, make fake speed paints. That isn't good, and DJSwag AJ needs to know that. Please stop doing this, DJ. Please let them know why this is so wrong, because they will keep tracing other people's art and claiming it as their own if we don't. Again, everyone stay wary of this, but no hate. I don't want anyone attacking them, but gentle reminders to not trace people's art is all okay. Anyways, that's all for this video. I hope I informed you all. Please leave a like, as it really does help my channel. I'm Leamon Puppy, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys all next time.